the Mission 68 broadcast. I'm Brady Loppe, and I'm joined with my co-host Jackson Parnell today, where we are going to be serving justice, loving mercy, and
walking
walking
humbly.
humbly. Yes. How are we doing today, folks? Currently, it's going to be August 28th on a Wednesday. It's high 91, low 74, 44% chance of precipitation. So bring your umbrella, folks. It's might get a little bit rainy. Today we got a couple fun things lined up for you today. We've got the Climate Week in New York City. Exciting stuff. And we're going to be going over President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act and how it impacts our environment and across the United States in general. And then a little bit of Micah news at the beginning, but then we're going to be getting right into that on today's Mission 68 broadcast. Let's jump right into it, folks. What's going on with us, with Micah 68? Well, I'm glad you asked, because September 1st, we're having a grocery giveaway. Isn't that right, Jackson?
Yep.
And we're giving away groceries to anybody who shows up, so bring your friends. It's free. It's free because we're giving to those who need groceries. God knows we need it right now with the prices. Because I'm telling you, sometimes I like the nicer things in life, folks. I drink kombucha. I don't think I'm better than anyone because I drink kombucha, but it's $4 for a kombucha bottle. It's like at Disney World when they pay you $6 out of the vending machine. Ridiculous. Okay, sorry about my tangent. Let's get into it. So yes, September 1st at the Village Coffee House, 2 to 4. Be there, 2 to 4 p.m. You can come at any time, pick up the groceries whenever you like. I don't know if Cindy's gonna be there. Miss Cindy might be there. I think me and Jackson, you can make it. I think I'm gonna be
Should
there.
be there, yeah.
You can meet us. You can meet us there. Okay, Climate Week in New York City. So I know most of you can't afford tickets to New York City. I was actually going to go on Labor Day.
I would have loved to have gone, yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to have went there. I was going to go on Labor Day, but I have work. I have a friend who lives up there, but it's not on Labor Day anyway. It's the Climate Week New York City, where over 600 event and activities across New York City are going to be there for a climate activist reasons. So, fortunately, New York, the Climate Week has thought about that, thought about the people not being able to go out there. And they're making it online. They're making it an online course, or not course. Used to going to
A
school.
bunch of the events are going to be online,
Yes.
available.
So you can go ahead and attend. What's it going to be like? Well, there's people there, business leaders, political change people, and they're there all with the purpose of promoting awareness and climate action. And I love to see that personally.
Yeah.
I love businesses who have environmental topics in mind or behavior in mind, because it's you don't have to do it. I've been learning about that in my business classes personally, actually, that a lot of people actually really like it whenever the businesses don't do things that hurt you or the environment. Love that.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking. Yeah, this just in. People like it when they don't breathe poison. Yeah, but it's going to be September 22nd to 29th. Google it. We don't have any
And
links
it's all
to it.
kinds of fun events. They can range from all kinds of different things, like just fun activities, educational meetings, learning how you can help your community, all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they have, it's like classes, almost, or like seminars. So there's going to be
Yeah.
speakers. So it'll be educational too, which is what we're all about. Be educated. We want to be educated about these climate issues. So I highly encourage, I might even do it. I highly encourage anybody to at least look into it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else on that. Did you see anything else? I don't want to leave something
Um,
out.
Not really, no. I think we're good.
No, I don't think so either. All right, so moving on. This is a big one. Folks. Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. So recently Biden signed this in. It's called the Inflation Reduction Act, and it's over $350 billion of investment. That's a lot of billions. I don't know how much.
350 of them.
That's 350 of billions. So what's the thing where it's like 1 million seconds is a week, but 1 billion seconds is
11 years.
like 11 years. So billion is
Yeah.
a lot of dollars. Well, what is those billions of dollars going into? I'll tell you. It's going into climate resilient infrastructure. And what does that mean? That could be better storm drains. God knows we need those.
Yeah. Ev- I'm sure everyone listening to this has some sort of flooding story to tell. Whether or not it happened to you or someone you know, everyone has flooding problems down here.
Yeah, Miss Cindy feeds raccoons. You can imagine that they have a problem with the flood drains filling up. They
Yeah.
drown. That's where they live. But other than that, also we live around where the storm drains are. Uh, and unless we want to fill on our Louisiana roots, I don't really want to be kayaking around my neighborhood. I'm glad. I think it's going to be more places than Louisiana too. They also mean by client or climate resilient infrastructure restoring wetlands and forests. So I could not find what they. I don't know. Do you know what that means, Jackson? Because I couldn't find what that meant
Um,
action
from what
wise.
I've seen, it's mostly environmental protection projects that are designed to promote the welfare of the wetland ecosystem and even hopefully restore some of the lost wetlands. I mean, that's going to be over the course of several decades, but you know, doing the measures now is going to have that become a possibility even in our uncertain climate future.
Yeah, uncertain is the right word. I don't know if you know this, so maybe this isn't the question asked. How do you how do you restore a wetland? Do you,
Um, well, in the case of the Mississippi specifically, the reason we're experiencing so much wetland loss is we have done so much man-made change to the flow and deposition of minerals from the Mississippi down to the estuary near New Orleans. And basically, what's happening is all of the dirt and stuff that is carried from the north of the country all the way down to the basin, or not basin, the delta, my bad. Uh, Whenever all of those minerals and soil is carried down the river, it creates the marshlands that we have at the base of the river. But as it's getting clogged up due to countless projects across the Mississippi, causing all the different runoffs to essentially be cut off, the deposits necessary to maintain that wetland are just not showing up.
okay, okay, that makes sense.
Sorry
Okay,
for a bit of an info dump. Long story
no, we
short,
need that.
the rocks that make the ground are not coming in.
We are not getting our building block rocks anymore,
Yeah.
which is getting so we're not building those wetlands. So that's good news for Louisiana's sake because that's a staple,
Yeah.
right? Our wetlands.
And they're also extremely important in reducing the damage hurricanes do because the presence of wetlands essentially nullifies most of the destruction that happens on landfall.
You heard that, Cameron? Um, and then for tree huggers and animal lovers, my girlfriend loves animals. She wants to be an advocate, so
Yeah.
this would be where she cares about it. That I'm assuming the wetlands is also where
Oh
things
yeah, there's
live. Uh,
tons of stuff that can only live in the ever decreasing wetlands,
yeah, so we want those. We want
like our state bird, the brown pelican.
we don't have to pick a new state bird. Um, yeah, the rest of not the rest of the money, but also some of the money is going into cleaner public transport. This is a big one for me personally.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be like electric buses. That's the biggest one I've seen instead of diesel. I was looking at it earlier. 60% of the emissions from the U.S. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I just kind of looked it up real quick. Come from pedestrian cars and like truckers and stuff. So that's a lot. That's a lot of emissions just
Yeah.
from cars. Um, I love that. I anytime someone talks to me about this, I can't shut up about it because I like cleaner public transport, but I you know what else I like more? Pedestrian based infrastructure.
Yeah.
I think bike lanes, walkable cities. You know, we're not going to pollute if we're walking. We're not going to pollute if
Yeah,
we're riding a bike.
it automatically solves the problem of the necessity of car use.
Yeah,
'Cause, I mean, if the area you're living in is perfectly travelable on foot, you don't really need to use your car at all, as often, if at all, depending on your circumstances, of course. But just that alone, the accessibility of traveling on foot is going to greatly reduce emissions.
not only emissions but public health.
Yeah,
Walking's good for you. So is riding a bike. And not only that, but for poorer communities um, who can't, you know, cars are expensive.
yeah.
Walking is easy. Well, depends. Stairs are kind of hard, but walking is easy. Um, so not only is it healthier, but you know, if some people can't get certain jobs because they can't even get there, you know, some of us
And
are
also,
privileged.
it might be a bit anecdotal, but walking is fun. It's pleasant to do.
Yeah, a lot of my biggest insights come to me while I'm on a walk. You know, you need
And
that time to wind down. I think walking, riding a bike, any city that makes you do that to get somewhere is a city that I want to be in. So that's not what's
yeah, I mean,
happening, but
just think to yourself, what would make you happier? Taking a nice long walk to the park or getting stuck in traffic on the way to the park?
yeah, look, I can be zen and meditate all I want, but whenever someone does that really turn like slow turn thing in front of me, you know what I'm talking about? When you're driving and they turn, it takes them 20 seconds to get from the road into the parking lot. I really
And
don't
that's
have
if
anywhere
they
to
use a
be.
turning
That's
signal.
no, I don't. You don't use a turning signal when you're walking. All right, we're yammering on about this. Uh, and then this one goes into it more protection to endangered species. I'm assuming that's kind of grouped in with the wetland.
Yeah,
Um, kind of the wetland stuff. I didn't really see anything else about that. So yeah, across the U.S., I mean, and the reason they're pushing this out so quickly, there's a bunch of people that live in air pollution. It's not just this area. A lot of people live in air pollution.
it's just heavily exacerbated in this area due to the chemical plant industries.
Yeah, the Reduction Act is across the United States, but that's really good news for us because we are oversaturated when it comes to air pollution. Goodness. And another interesting fact about it is that it's actually the largest public investment uh, in clean energy to fight climate change. And a reason that this is so important is if you haven't been keeping up with it, climate change is not a joke. It's the deadline's soon on how long it takes until we.
Some estimates are placing it at about 26 years from now, society will begin to shut down due
I didn't
to
even know that.
climate related complications.
Yeah, it's like right now. Um,
Pretty much, if you're alive right now and you were born before, or I mean, after 1955, you were probably going to see uh, climate consequences in your lifetime.
you already have.
I mean,
Yeah, but not to the
like society altering consequences
yes.
that
Uh,
are much more difficult to deal with than what we have mitigated thus far.
Yeah, and again, it's a class. It can be chalked up to a class issue too, because yeah, are wealthier people going to be affected? Absolutely, it's going to be hot for them too. But people with not a lot
But
of
they can buy ACs.
yeah, they can buy ACs.
They can move further north.
They can go yeah, they can do a lot of things. People who can't, which is the people that we want to take care of because that's our people, the working class. You can't always just up and go, and most of the time, especially like we were talking about earlier, people don't have cars. uh, I think it's more effective. It's third world countries especially. What are they going to do? Especially the coastal ones, they're going to get eaten up. That's why it's so important. That's why they're doing this right now. That's why we're putting so much money into it. And this hits home especially to the plants because a lot of people talk about how the industry around here creates jobs. And this is kind of what we have to do is we have to invest the future into cleaner energy. We have to start creating
Yeah,
clean jobs.
because yeah, the whole argument of these industries bringing jobs into the area, we've sort of touched on this either yesterday or the day before, but it's a very short-sighted goal in the face of the overarching consequences of these sort of plants and the emissions that they are going to, emit and release onto the environment. It's just the short-term benefits of the economic growth will be greatly, greatly overshadowed by the long-term consequences of their industry.
Yeah, unless we're running a market in Atlantis, if the economy still is important underwater, then we'll talk. But the economy won't matter if we're restructuring society because of environmental catastrophe. The reason that we're mentioning this specifically is because in the Inflation Reduction Act, with the installation of solar panels for farmers, mostly for farmers, but across the U.S., um, this creates jobs for labor, and this is a big news to me, and this is important to me because seeing that we're having a president who is doing these things shows me that we're willing to invest into the clean air or clean energy industry, which is a good thing to start shifting our attention to and investing in, because a lot of the reason is that people don't have jobs into clean energy, or they're low paid jobs. Um,
Yeah, it's legitimizing the clean energy industry by having it, be directly funded by the federal government.
yeah, that's awesome. And there's a little bit more to it. So the clean energy developers, the companies, um, they actually have two key labor standards. They have a financial incentive to uphold these standards, because if they don't do it, they won't get a 30% tax credit. That's under
And
the
for those of you who don't know, I feel like it's warranted clarifying. The whole concept of a tax credit is sort of not generally understood. Uh, whenever these companies get tax credits, it is quite literally they just don't pay as much, so they are practically getting paid by the government. So these are some very nice incentives, which is, I think, a very hopeful. It sets a very hopeful tone in terms of the direction our country will hopefully go uh, with energy production by incentivizing cleaner sources so heavily. Because I mean, who's going to turn down free money?
seriously, I wouldn't. Um, yeah, but those standards, what do they have to do to get the tax? The what is the word? I forgot it already. 30% tax credit.
Tax credit? Yeah.
Tax credits. Um, they have to do two things. They have to meet two standards. The first one, they have to pay construction workers federally determined wages on in the region. So whatever the federally determined wages for that region is the minimum wage for the workers. And they also have to hire a certain number of apprentices. So these apprentices are hired with the intention of being provided with paid classroom instruction, in addition to on-job training. So they want these people who they are investing not only in the clean air industry, but in workers for that industry. That's pretty big. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Um, I have a
It ties
little,
back into the planning for the future.
yeah, because it's what we need. We need to start shifting into this direction if we want a stable climate, or at least to avoid the already accumulated consequences.
Mitigate what's coming.
Yes. Um, there is a little bit about this that I have a personal critique with. So the federal determined wages for the region, that can vary on the region. So Texas, I believe it's like $8 an hour.
Yeah.
So it's not always livable wages. And I think as voters, as people of the community, we should always be pushing our politicians to, even if they are doing stuff like maybe President Biden is um, doing climate activism in some sense, in the same way that my cat doesn't really like licking off, the crumbs of my plate as much as he likes eating the whole thing when I walk out of the room. Uh, some things sound good, but we want more, and our politicians need to know that. They need to know, hey, look, it's good that we're doing this, but these people should also, there should be more. These people need to be paid not It sounds good when you say federally determined wages, but we want livable wages for the people who work these jobs. They need to be able to go home and take care of their kids.
Yeah, I mean, the idea alone that minimum wage and livable wage are separate, numbers is kind of insane.
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because, and this is the funny part about it, because especially being a finance major, the language that we use is a little bit, kind of makes me sick, I guess, to say it in a very dramatic way. But when sitting in there in class, a lot of the times people who are out here living their life are talked about as if they're economic events, like that there's this unemployment rate, and it's not that we're worried about the unemployment rate because people are unemployed, but we're worried about the unemployment rate because it's not making all the other numbers look good to us. um, I just think that's a little bit of an
Yeah.
inhumane way to rationalize
Yeah,
economics.
very dehumanizing to the general populace.
Yeah, and that's typically a critique would be people talking about, hey, Brady, I know you're into this stuff and you're into making, wanting people to be able to eat and whatever, but have you ever considered that if we gave people more money, then they'd spend more money and it's like, okay, I just want people to eat. I think that's maybe a more human way to approach this. Um, but yeah, it has a lot to touch on with labor too. I don't really see anything else about it. Do you have anything else to add, Jackson?
I think we're good.
No, I think that's pretty big news for Louisiana, especially since we are, I believe, the most impacted state from climate change. I heard that you heard that too whenever we were speaking to
Yeah.
Granger. And Southwest Louisiana is, of Louisiana, the most impacted area.
The
So
worst of the worst.
we are at the bottom. So we need to care the most. Stuff like this is huge for
Yeah.
us. Uh,
Yeah, we're gonna experience the most uh radical change if things are to actually turn out for the better.
yeah. Everyone remembers. I don't. What were their names? I don't even remember. It all happened so fast. The two hurricanes that hit us
Yeah.
in 2020. Oh my God, what were they called?
Was it was that Harvey and
No, Harvey was Texas.
yeah.
Two hurricanes that hit. All of our credibility just got lost. Hit Louisiana in 2020. They said, okay, these people don't know what they're talking about. They don't even know um, the two hurricanes.
Yeah.
I think one of
That's
them
so
was
silly.
Laura. Yes, Laura. And then,
Yes,
yeah,
yes, Laura.
Laura, I don't remember the second one. The second one wasn't as bad.
Delta,
It was
right?
Delta. I think so, yeah, Hurricane Delta. Yeah, so we got two hurricanes back to back. That's definitely not normal.
Mm.
These
And it I'm sure people have been seeing, or if you haven't, there's been some extremely large and dangerous hurricane formations in around the South America. Oh goodness, the areas around Cuba, the Bahamas, and all that.
yeah, like
They've
the
been
Gulf.
experiencing, yes, yes, the Gulf. They've been experiencing some horrendous hurricanes that are a direct result of the ocean reaching a record high temperature after reaching a record high last year.
So it just keeps going up.
Yeah,
Okay. And this obviously relates to us because we live right down the bowling
we're
alley.
directly in the crosshair.
We are where the hurricanes hit. So, yeah. That's actually why Micah 6'8" the other day we handed out hurricane relief buckets. Um for I hope everyone who got those liked their goodies and them, cuz me and Jackson hurt our fingers opening
Opening those
those
buckets.
buckets were super glued on. They hurt. Maybe me and Jackson just have soft hands, but I I had a bruise. So we definitely hope you appreciated it. I think that's all for the Inflation Reduction Act, and I don't have any other stories lined up today. I do kind of want to talk a little bit about a community interaction, though, because that's what we're about. We kind of do some international news to some extent. We try to relate it back to Louisiana. Pretty much anything that has to do with climate is related to Louisiana. At this point, though, um, maybe we'll probably start looking into more politicians' policy in Louisiana. That's a good idea. Um, Policy of local politicians on climate stuff.
Mm.
I don't know if that's, maybe we'll start looking at that. Anyway, um, we need you guys to be commenting on YouTube about discussion. We don't need you to be doing it, but we want this to be a discussion. We don't really want it to be just me and Jackson giving you stuff. This is about you more than it is us. The reason that me and Jackson are here is because we care about you. We care about where we live. And we care about our environment. So we want to hear from you guys. We want to know if you're like, Brady, shut up. That's stupid. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. This is what's true. Let me have it. Let's hear it. And we'll cover it because we want to be right and we want to make sure that you guys are being heard more than anything else.
Solving our community concerns is how the community gets better. So airing out your concerns is pretty much the only way we're going to address those concerns, you know?
Yeah, the Beatles had it right when they said "come together" in that song. It was a pretty good song, but that's you don't listen to the Beatles. Well, I think there's a song that's called "Come Together," and it's pretty good. And hopefully, the people in the audience know that song for the people listening, because that would have been embarrassing. But no, please reach out to us. I have an Instagram. It's just my name, Brady Labe. I'll have it in the description of what my name is. Jackson doesn't have an Instagram, really.
No.
Not a formal one, but I'll relay any messages to him. Let me know what you want me to talk about. Let me know if you have any stories, if you have any personal concerns. Maybe you have questions. Maybe you just want to put your 2 cents in because you're passionate. Let's hear it. And if you want to get involved, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out to the Mission or Micah 68 Facebook. Get involved. There's a bunch of other ways to get involved. There's other local nonprofits and organizations, NAACP, many others. We encourage you to.
And you could start attending our our bi-monthly meetings.
Yes, the first Thursday and the third Thursday at the Sulphur Public Library. You can start attending our meetings there. And coming to the events, like I said, September 1st. Grocery giveaway. Get to know us. Come meet us. Come talk to us. We'd love to talk to you. Miss Cindy would love to talk to you.
I like you already.
Yeah, I already love you.
I haven't even met you.
I haven't even met you, and I really like the way you dress. I can just tell. But, no. Jokes aside, we really would love to meet you. There are younger people there, too. There's a whole demographic of people there.
The entire age range is met just about.
You're going to find your clique. Me and Jackson will give you, you can come sit with us. We're not going to kick you out unless maybe you're a little weird. Then we won't let you sit. Just kidding. But no, there's a bunch of people there. You'll talk to Cindy. You'll talk to us. Don't be scared. Please get involved. I think we're going to leave it off here today. This is Mission 68 Broadcast. Thanks for listening, guys. And we'll be with you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.